President Obama is expected to raise and spend a record $1 billion in next year's re-election campaign. It's a daunting number for his GOP rivals, and one that my next guest says is not as important as the candidate's messages. Fred Malek is known as a Republican rainmaker. He has served as an advisor to 4 U.S. presidents and was the national finance chairman for John McCain's 2008 presidential campaign. Fred joins us now live from D.C. Fred, appreciate you coming on the show this morning. Let me ask you, first of all, about that number. I mean, you know, we said you are the man who raises the kind of money it takes to become president, but the kind of money it takes to become president is getting to be almost ridiculous. $1 billion?
Well, Matt, I don't think, I really question whether he will raise $1 billion. And frankly, I don't think you can spend $1 billion effectively in a presidential campaign. George W. Bush ran twice and won twice with a fraction of that. I don't think it takes $1 billion. You reach the point of diminishing returns in this game.
Who can challenge the sitting president when it comes to fundraising? I mean, it used to be that Republicans were good at that kind of thing, and now it seems that the Democrats really have the hold on getting all the cash.
You know, a sitting president always has a big advantage in fundraising. He can go out and draw himself. The vice president goes out. Members of the cabinet can take off and go out and help raise money. They have a tremendous advantage. Plus, they got a wonderful internet operation that they started 4 years ago. I think we're going to be competitive. I don't think we're going to raise as much as they do, but we're going to compete more on our ideas, on our ideas for reducing the national debt, dealing with the debt crisis we have, creating more jobs than this presidency has been able to create. We're going to run very strongly on our ideas and our record against his.
Has the Republican Party, though, been splintered both ideologically and sort of financially by the Tea Party? I mean, it seems they've shaken things up and sort of broadened the ideological base there.
Well, we're a big party, and the Tea Party has added, I think, a lot of enthusiasm to it. I think the Tea Party is an important element of the Republican Party today, and I'm glad they are, because they're going to increase the turnout. They're going to increase the number of people who are interested in this. They preach the same message that most of us do, which is the message of fiscal discipline, reduce taxes, increase growth incentives for the private sector, and keep your deficit down. I think this is a great message. And we have 3 former governors in this race, all of whom have done this. They've balanced budgets. They've created jobs. They know how to govern a state, and I think one of those is going to be our nominee and next president of the United States.
A couple of whom are billionaires in their own right. Mitt Romney, shown here, clearly made a lot of money at Bain Capital. He's a Wall Street guy. I mean, do you think he's the front runner as far as raising cash?
Mitt is, by the way, I don't consider him a Wall Street guy. I mean, he's a guy who was in private equity, who built businesses, created jobs, returned a lot of money to pensioners who benefited from the very good returns that they had. But he will be the leader in raising cash. He just announced that he raised $10 million in a single day. He is going to raise the most cash. That does not necessarily mean he will be the nominee, but it certainly gives him an advantage.
You say you don't think of him as a Wall Street guy. Is that kind of a bad word in this election?
Not necessarily. Look, all the Wall Street people I know, and I know a lot of them because I'm in private equity myself, most of them who backed Obama last time around have buyer's remorse. Most of them are coming around and supporting the Republicans. So we need their support. We want their support, and I think we're going to get it. Having said that, look, if you have everybody on Wall Street supporting a Republican nominee, they can only give a certain amount, $2,500 per person, so it still doesn't give you the amount in the cash you need to compete. You got to go broadly and deeply into the country to raise the kind of cash you need for this campaign.
You know, Fred, we talk to Wall Street guys all day long on this network, and in the last election, it seemed that they really got behind the Democratic Party. They really got behind President Obama. Is the president going to get Wall Street support again?
No, he's not, and he's not going to get business support. Look, this president, this administration has done nothing but put roadblocks in the road, big boulders in the road on the way to recovery. They have strangulating regulations that they've put out. They've got a health care plan whose cost is still unknown and that nobody likes.
Not terribly unlike Governor Romney's health care plan in Massachusetts.
Well, I'll let him speak to that. But everything that they have done, there's nothing they've done that really have created jobs. A stimulus program that doesn't stimulate, a health care program nobody likes. an attack, I mean, can you imagine the attack they're making on Boeing, trying to tell them where to locate their plants, trying to prevent them from having a plant that assembles aircraft in South Carolina? It's just kind of mind-boggling, and most of the business community sees this as an attack on the free enterprise system.
I got to ask you about Governor Huntsman quickly. Is he another hope for as far as fundraising is concerned?
Well, I think Jon is getting a late start, and you can't really do too much self-funding here, I don't think, because the public kind of looks askance at that. Plus, a lot of the money may not even be in his own name. It might be in his father's. So I think he's going to have to get out there and start raising money. Tim Pawlenty's been at it a long time, has a pretty good start, and of course, Romney's the leader. But fundraising alone is not going to do it. You got to look at the sequence of primary states. You got to look at the ideas they're espousing. You got to look at their records in the past. And Tim Pawlenty, you have an eight-year governor who's governed conservatively in a red state very successfully. Mitt Romney, who's proven himself in 3 different fields, and Jon Huntsman, who's been a fine diplomat and a great governor in Utah. But I think it's going to be hard for Jon to get through Iowa and New Hampshire successfully. So that's his challenge.
Hey, Fred, thanks so much for joining us. Really appreciate it. Fred Malek there, chairman of the Thayer Lodging Group.